Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the ABCs of Communicating. My name is Ruth Finney, and this morning we are going to be talking about resolution. Resolution, that is our topic of discussion for the day. Let me turn this down. All right. So, how many of you all have had struggles figuring out how to come to some resolution with the person that you are talking with, that you're speaking with? An issue has been presented in your relationship, and you are trying to figure out one person wants one thing, you want something else, and you all are trying to figure out how to come to some resolution about it. It can be a very difficult and daunting task to try to come to a resolution, especially when we want two different things. And sometimes those conversations can end up getting confrontational. Good morning, Natnenwin. I hope I said that right. Hatnenwin. I'm not sure. Let me know if I said that right. Welcome in this morning. Good to see you. This morning, we're going to be talking about how to come to resolution with others when we are having differences of opinion, different things that we want to do to try to come to make a decision on something, make a decision on a matter. So the first thing we want to do when we're trying to come to resolution is get our mind right. We need to get our mind, we need to set our intentions, get our mind in the place that we want to come to a resolution with this person. We don't want to argue with them. We don't want to, get into a word battle with them. We want to make sure that we are coming to the conversation with the mindset that we're trying to work with this person, right? We need to make sure that we are coming to learn information, right? And not just see it from our own perspective, because we're two different people. And so we have thoughts about what we may think should happen, as well as they also have thoughts about what they think should happen. So we have to watch our intention, make sure that we're here to work with them, because we're trying to create connection. We still want to keep our connection and not create division when it comes to trying to find resolutions to issues. So then we also want to make sure that we're not prejudging, that we're leaving our judgments on the table, because when we come to a conversation where we're criticizing their thoughts, criticizing their ideas and suggestions, putting down everything that they bring to the table about a solution, well, then we're going to begin to raise barriers. And that's not what we want. Again, we're trying to create connection and not division. So we can't make assumptions that we already know what they're going to say. We already know what's going to happen. We already know how this thing is going to turn out. We want to make sure that we leave our judgments and our assumptions on the table so that we can not draw conclusions about what we think is going to happen. We already know all the potential outcomes, not making room for God to move. Good morning, Kay Renee. How are you this morning? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Harrison. How are you? Watching and driving. Oh, nice emojis there. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for being here. So this morning, for those of you all who just came in, we are talking about resolution, how we come to resolution. A lot of times we're struggling, and I'll use the example this morning of, say someone has come to us with moving in a family member or a friend or someone close to us that one person wants to move into the house and maybe the other one doesn't. And so this can often be something that can be difficult to come to resolution about. So the first thing that I talked about, like I said, was getting your mind right, setting our intentions, being open, being non-judgmental, leaving out assumptions and not drawing conclusions about what we think is going to happen, what we think the outcome is going to be. And so That's the first part of this, is getting our mind right. So if one wants to move the person in and the other one doesn't, then we have to realize, okay, we're going to try to come to some resolution about this. Then we need to leave our judgments on the table about this and be open and willing to listen to what the person has to say, and hopefully they also will be willing to listen to what we have to say. Give each other time to talk, sit down, whatever it is you need to do to have this conversation before the thing actually happens or doesn't happen. The second thing we want to look at is our approach to the conversation. This is where things can go south real fast. One person can run up to you, and be passionate and say, this is what's going to happen. I'm moving this person in. I don't care how you feel about it. And then the other person is, upset about it. No, you're not. And it just turns into a whole big thing. So we have to watch our approach. We have to be careful with how we approach conversations of this nature when someone is feeling very passionately one way about it, and the other's feeling very passionately the other way about it. I'm going to try to drink my water as I go so I don't lose my voice. It's been a busy weekend. All right, the next one is, like I said, it's our approach. So we want to make sure that we are sticking to the facts of what we know to be true or what can be proven. If you have an issue that you're needing to talk about, stick to the facts. Again, we're leaving out those assumptions and our opinions and those judgments. Make sure that we're not bringing our preconceived notions or preconceived thoughts about what we think about the situation versus bringing the facts to the table. Well, if we move this person in our house, we know that it's going to cost us, this much more money. We know that they may not be able to pay or may not be in a position to be able to pay. We know that we may have limited space in our home, or maybe we know that they're going to want to stay longer than what we're comfortable with, right? Bring the facts to the table of whatever issue. And I'm just using this situation, but you can use whatever situation that you may be struggling with, that you may be trying to needing to come to some resolution about with someone. So bring the facts to the table and not your judgments. Well, I don't like this person. Well, you know how I feel about them. Well, you know that they do this and that, and I don't care for that. Right? Leave those opinions and judgments off the table and just bring the facts to the table, so that these are things that, that maybe the person can't argue about. Get some understanding about what you know to be true. And try to figure out a compromise that you both can live with, so that you can make a fully informed decision. Look at all the possible options. What options do we have besides just moving this person in? What other options do they have? Or whatever your situation, look at all the options. Put all the options down on the table so that you know fully what your options are, because you may have another option that you don't realize, right? When you start to write things down, when you put things down on the table, well, what if we do this? Or what if we consider that? So this is what we want to look at when we're looking at our approach to the conversation, our approach to a resolution, that we're here to find resolution, and let's talk about it. Then we want to make sure that we're setting limits and boundaries when it comes to the conversation. Sometimes it's hard to even have the conversation if we feel like we're talking to someone who tends to be very combative or have a volatile type of personality or conversation. Maybe we may have to even start the conversation with, I'm willing to talk with you under these conditions. I'm willing to talk with you about this under these conditions, right? Maybe I'm not going to talk to you about it here. I'm not going to talk to you about it in front of your family or in front of the person who's wanting to move in. Maybe we'll need to change the location, right? I'm not willing to talk with you about this while I'm at work or while I'm with the kids or whatever the situation is. We may have to set limits and boundaries about where we're going to have that conversation. Or maybe this is something that needs to be talked about in front of a professional or in front of a counselor or a therapist or a clergy. So, a priest, anyone, someone who can be somewhat of a referee for you all, because maybe you've already tried to have conversation about it and you couldn't get past the emotional outburst that can sometimes enter into a conversation. So Or you can say, I will talk with you about this if you will agree to stay respectful. No threats or no abusive language. Whatever it is, sometimes we have to set the boundaries and set limits around even talking about the situation, so that we can get to a place where we can look at the options, see how the person feels about it, not bring any preconceived notions about what we think is going to happen. And then we want to make sure that we are tuned in. Tune in when we are coming to trying to find resolution with someone. Often we are so head set on what we want the outcome to be, what we want to say, that we are completely not listening to what the other person is needing to say. We're not we're not prepared to listen to their points of view. Maybe we don't even care about what their point of view is on the matter. So we have to be willing to tune in, take in everything that they're saying, their emotions, their passions about it, their words, even their nonverbal communication, because sometimes the things that they aren't saying are speaking just as loudly as the things that they actually are saying. Maybe their body language is saying that maybe they don't feel confident about it. They know that maybe this person has asked them to move in, but they too don't feel confident about it, or have some hesitation about it. And their body language is saying that they have hesitation about it as well, but their mouth is saying, no, we need to try to move this person in. We need to help this person out. So pay attention to both the verbal communication as well as the nonverbal communication. Tune in, look at their facial expressions and all those, their hand gestures, all those things make a difference. All those things are speaking, and reflect on the things that they say that are truly important. What's really important here in this conversation as we're trying to talk about this issue that we're having? Is it that we're needing to help someone? What's most important is that we help this person out the way they need to be helped? Is it most important that we maintain our relationship as we consider this as an option? All sorts of things. What matters most? What is the thing that you cannot live with, right? Think about those things, that if this thing doesn't happen, what is it that I would not be able to live with? If I couldn't move in my child or my mother or my friend or my cousin, whoever it is, if I can't move them in, am I going to be able to live with that, right? If one of the options is no, if we say no, are we going to be able to live with this? And apply what we will learn and figure out what it is that we are willing to work with, that we are willing to consider. Figure out what it is that we can accept. So tune in on both sides to try to come to some resolution about what it is you think that you can do. What can I live with if this doesn't happen? What can I live with if this happens? Then how we can come to some resolution about that. And then we want to make sure that we have our empathetic ears on, because we are trying, when we're coming to resolution and everyone's bringing their argument to the table as to why things should or shouldn't happen, we have to realize that we're there to gain understanding. We're there to gain understanding. We want to know, tell me more so I can understand why this is so important to you. Why does this matter to you? What is so important about this situation that we have to come to some resolution on it? Because we'll be quick to say no to something or quick to turn a thing down because we don't realize how important it is to the person that we're speaking with. And like I said, I'm talking about the issue I'm talking about is moving someone in. This is just one example, but there are so many issues that we have to often come to resolution with. It can be an issue related to money or an issue issue related to our sprinkler system was coming on, and it was kind of loud. Issue related to work or moving. Maybe the person wants to take a job somewhere else, and we're not sure if we want to move or do that. So many issues that we have to try to work to come to resolution on. So figure out where we're gaining where we need to gain understanding, what we hope the outcome will be, and what we can live with. Humble yourself. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Stay calm and level-headed. Watch your tone and your volume. Breathe. Sometimes breathe, because we can get so worked up about the things that the people are bringing to us, feel so passionately different about it, that we don't know if we can live with what it is they're bringing to us, because we may feel so strongly different about what it is that they're bringing to us. So watch our gestures, and don't try not to touch the person. I know a lot of times people, when someone wants you to do the thing that they want you to do, they'll put their hand on your shoulder and kind of say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do, right? And kind of talk you into what it is that they want. And, people can take offense to that. Like, no, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this a little further. So watch your hand gestures and watch how you're coming across to the person, not saying that, yes, this is what the outcome is going to be. This is what we're going to do. And this is what we agree upon, right? And they may be saying, no, that's not what we agree upon. And we need to talk about this some more, because this is not going to work for me. And so when you get to the point where you're trying to find some resolution, look for the need. Focus on the need. What are we trying to gain with this conversation? What are we trying to gain? Are we trying to make sure that we stay in peace with one another, that we develop some understanding, that we is it that we're trying to take advantage of an opportunity that we didn't have, that we didn't know existed? Whatever it is, focus on what it is that we're trying to gain with this resolution. Ask them, if this is the outcome, what do you hope to gain from this? And this is what I hope to gain from this opportunity, if we decide to take it or not take it, or if we decide to take on this issue or not take on this issue. Or what are we trying to avoid, right? What are we trying to avoid? Maybe it may be that we want to move this family member in because we don't want to have to hear their mouth, that we didn't allow them to, come into our home. What are we trying to avoid? So, and if that's the situation, we're going to move them in just because we don't want to hear their mouth about it, or hear some other family member's mouth about it, then we need to talk about this thing. Let's talk about what some of our other options are. Besides just not wanting to hurt their feelings, all sorts of things. So try to write down and focus on what is it that we're trying to gain. What are all the gains from this? And maybe it's the gain for the person and not just for us. And what is it that we're trying to avoid? Are we trying to avoid a loss of a relationship with the person or with each other? Are we trying to make sure that we don't lose access, or is it that we're just not wanting to lose, period? We don't want to lose the argument. We don't want to lose the argument that we're bringing to the table. We just want to win. We don't really care about what the outcomes are, and who wins or who loses. We just want to win ourselves. So think about those things, what we're trying to gain, what we're trying to avoid, what we're trying to accomplish. Good morning, Levy Boyd. How are you? Welcome in this morning. We are talking about resolution, and resolution, how we come to resolutions when we have issues in a relationship. All right. So then we want to look at what we want to accomplish. What do we want to accomplish? Okay. We want to work together. Are we trying to reach a goal here? Are we trying to complete a project? Or maybe we're in the process of getting divorced and we're trying to do that amicably as possible. Or maybe we want to reunite. Maybe we're trying to reunite. When we come to trying to come to a resolution about an issue or a matter. So many things cause us to have to argue with each other, cause us frustration when we're trying to find resolution. So if our goal is to work together, if our goal is to reach a goal, is to complete a project, to try to get divorced, maybe you're in the process of trying to get divorced, and that can be a very daunting task to try to work through all the issues. How can we come to resolution over who's going to get what, kids, funds, property, all sorts of stuff. And you may need a third party to come in and help you all get that figured out and come to some resolution about it. Or if you're working to reunite, what can we begin to try to live with? Where can we begin to work on trying to reunite? Where are we willing to compromise if we're trying to reunite with each other? Let's start back with having date nights, or just being able to have conversations over the phone without arguing with each other. Sometimes, relationships go through a period of separation and not necessarily divorce. Maybe look at our options of that. Look at an option that maybe we can separate for a while rather than just jumping straight to divorce. Maybe we can consider getting some counseling, or doing some things together that we didn't used to do. So many things we can do to try to work and come to some resolution about a matter, so that we can maintain trust, so that we can maintain the health of a relationship. But when we don't know these tools, when we don't know these skills, when we don't have our mind right, when we're not working on our approach, when we haven't set our intentions, then it can be difficult to come to resolution. So we have to be willing to work with the person, set boundaries, put on our empathetic ears, make sure that we're focused on what the person is saying. Listen to everything, take it all in, and realize that we're here to make peace with this person and not necessarily cause division or destruction. All right. So I didn't have a whole lot this morning on resolution. If you all have any questions or any thoughts about something that or struggles, something that you all are needing to come to some resolve on, you can put it in the chat and we can chat about it. And if not, I don't have too much else this morning. So I'll give you all a second to let me know whether or not you all have any issues with resolution. Good morning, Hala Yemi. How are you? How are you this morning? We just got done talking about resolution, how we can come to some resolution when we're struggling in our relationships, and some of those things that we can do. Any questions this morning? I know some of you are driving, so I don't expect you to do that. If you're half asleep in the bed, I appreciate you all being here. This week, pretty much, I'll have my tip coming out tomorrow. Wednesday, I will be doing the letter S, and Friday, the letter T. I'll have a lesson coming out on Thursday. And then Saturday is Halloween, and I actually won't be doing my live. I usually do a live on Saturday nights at 8:30, but I actually won't be doing that at 8:30. Next month, over the month of November, as Thanksgiving, I'm going to be focusing on hopefully bringing some people in on my panel sessions on Saturday nights. So I want to do some focus on the family, children, as well as our friends. So you all will be seeing some guests coming in on my Saturday night shows. So I hope that you all look forward to that. So, because I'm looking forward to that, bringing some people in on my panels so that we can have some discussions about how we get along with family, how we get along with friends. I can't wait for you all to meet my friends, my sisters. So you all can get to know them, get to know more about me and how we've stayed friends for so long. My friends, I've known several since I was literally in elementary school, like 7, 8 years old. So we're all in our mid 40s now. So, and we've managed to stay friends, which can be a very difficult thing to do. So we're going to be talking about that. Good morning, Mama Joan. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. That was a blessed night we had there over on Terrence Trower's channel. So I was honored to be able to speak over there and that with the youth, his youth explosion that he does. I think he's going to be doing those every fourth Sunday. So that was exciting last night. So it was good to see you there. But yes, so those are some things to look forward to next month for the month of November. So I'm excited about that. I don't have much else. If everyone is good, I'll go ahead and say a prayer. I hope everyone has a wonderful week, a wonderful today's Monday. Today is Monday. So happy Monday to you all. And I'll go ahead and say a prayer and then we'll head out. Father, I just thank you for this day. I thank you for loving on us the way you do. I thank you for the grace that you show us each and every day. Every morning, you give us new opportunities to make good decisions, to make good choices, to come to resolution in areas where we have discord with others. Father, we thank you for showing us how to be open and to be humble. To thank you for reminding us that we also need grace in our lives. And so help us to be able to show grace to others. Thank you for your love and the mercy that you bestow upon us each and every day. Forgive us, Lord, when we come to others with the wrong approach, when we come to others with our preconceived notions and judgments, and are not open to hear what they have to say. Father, forgive us when we don't make room for you to move in our lives, to show us areas of resolution where we do not see resolve. Thank you, Lord, for coming in and taking over and showing us that I still reign, I still rule, and I still have the final say. And we thank you, Father, for the way you move in our lives each and every day. I pray for each person in this chat, for those watching the replay. Help us to come to some resolution on some issues that have been lingering, those things that we've been afraid to address with the person. Give us the courage and the understanding and the willingness to work with the person that we need to come to some resolve with, so that we can be at peace and have healthy relationships with the person. Help us to not avoid the conversation, but to confront in love. We love you. We thank you. I ask these things in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right. I hope everyone has a beautiful, beautiful day. And like I say, I'll have a tip coming out tomorrow, and then we'll be back here on Wednesday for the letter S. All right. You all have a beautiful day. Take care. Bye-bye.